An underground city is a series of linked subterranean spaces that may provide a defensive refuge, a place for living, working as shopping, a transit system, mausolea, wine storage cellars, cisterns or drainage channels, or several of these. The term may also refer to a network of tunnels that connects buildings beneath street level, which may house office blocks, shopping malls, metro stations, theaters, and other attractions. These passages can usually be accessed through the public space of any of the buildings connecting to them, and sometimes have separate entries as well. This latter definition encompasses many modern structures, whereas the former more generally covers tunnel systems from ancient times to the present day. Underground cities are especially functional in cities with very cold or hot climates, because they permit activities to be comfortably accessible year-round without regard to the weather. Underground cities are similar in nature to skyway systems and may include some buildings linked by skyways or above-ground corridors rather than underground. Possibly the most famous underground cities are Montreal's Réseau, used by more people than any other locale and the largest underground city network in the world, and Toronto's Path, which according to Guinness World Records, is the largest underground shopping complex in the world with 371,600 square meters of retail space. Japan's underground networks, whereas individually smaller, are the most extensive overall, with an estimated 76 underground shopping streets totaling over 900,000 square meters of floor space in 1996, with many expansions since then. Countries with underground cities include Argentina. Buenos Aires, capital of Argentina, has an extensive amount of underground cities in its subter. Most stations have small shops, bars and kiosks, while main hubs interconnect through underground pedestrian walkways with railroad stations. Governmental buildings are shopping centers. Some have additional mall-like mezzanine levels, with the Centro Obelisk of Buenos Aires area, Estación Retiro, Estación Constitución, Estación Once and Federico Lacroix railway station being the most important ones. Australia. Sydney has a series of underground shopping malls around the underground station town hall. The tunnels run south to the George Street Cinema District, west under the town hall, and north to Pitt Street in Mall through the Queen Victoria Building. The northern branch links Queen Victoria Building with Galleries Victoria, Sydney Central Plaza. The linked centres run for over 3 kilometres. In 2005, Westfield Corporation submitted a development application to link Sydney Central Plaza underground with 3 other properties on Pitt Street in Mall and extend the tunnel network by a further 500 metres or more. Perth has a small network of underground shopping malls running from the St George Terrace entrance to Trinity Arcade to Murray Street in Mall. The small town of Kubapedi in northern South Australia has numerous underground residences and other facilities. The area was and is extensively mined for opal, and the settlers lived underground to escape the scorching daytime heat, often exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. Canada. The continental climate makes underground pedestrian malls quite useful. Edmonton has a small system of tunnels and above-ground skyways called the Pedway, connecting buildings and LRT stations of the downtown core. Halifax, where no point is more than 10 minutes casual walking distance from any other one. Montreal Underground City, or La Ville Souterraine in French, is the largest underground network in the world. world. Its 32 kilometers of tunnel cover more than 41 city blocks. Access through the RISO can be made to apartment buildings, hotels, offices, banks, and universities, as well as public spaces like retail shops and malls, concert halls, cinemas, the Bell Center Hockey Arena, museums, 7 metro stations, 2 train stations, a bus terminal, and other areas. It connects 80% of office space and 35% of commercial space in downtown Montreal. The network began as a connection between Place Ville-Marie, the Queen Elizabeth Hotel, and the Gare Centrale. More than 2,000 shops and 40 cinemas line the passageways. Tourists often visit attractions in the underground city, which is used by an average of 500,000 Montrealers per day. 8 metro stations link to smaller networks that are not yet part of the central network, such as Berry-UQAM in the eastern part of downtown and Pi-IX, which links venues from the 1976 Summer Olympics. Ottawa's Carleton University has a 5-kilometer underground tunnel network which connects 10 residence buildings with other buildings on its main campus. The city also has an underground concourse at the Place de Ville office complex in the downtown business district, connecting 4 office buildings containing over 1 million square feet of leasable space, and 2 hotels with 900 rooms combined. There are plans to expand the underground network after the Confederation Line, a rapid transit line featuring 3 downtown subway stations, is completed. It is estimated there will be as many as 20 buildings with direct indoor connection to the downtown subway portion, or 4 million square feet of office space, 1.8 million square feet of retail, 1,400 hotel rooms, and the Ottawa Convention Centre, Saskatoon. On the campus of the University of Saskatchewan, a tunnel system connects several of the buildings on campus. This is augmented with overhead walkways that further extend the network. St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. At the main campus of Memorial University of Newfoundland are the Munnels, a tunnel system, in which all the main buildings are connected, though there are also some elevated walkways. Toronto comprises 29 kilometers of walkways and 1,200 shops. It links many important buildings and attractions downtown to 6 TTC subway stations. Path accommodates 100,000 pedestrians daily, and Path businesses host the world's largest underground sidewalk sale once annually. The Path network in Toronto is the largest underground shopping complex in the world with 371,600 square meters. Toronto also has a separate, smaller underground city connecting several building complexes and 2 subway stations on Bloor Street. Vancouver has 2 shopping malls, Pacific Centre and Vancouver Centre, that are interconnected and extend over 3 city blocks, containing more than 200 stores that weaves above and below ground level. These malls have metro access at Granville SkyTrain station on the Expo Line and Vancouver City Centre's SkyTrain station on the Canada Line. Other connections exist between SkyTrain stations and surrounding buildings, such as the case with the Burrard Station connections to the Bentall Centre and the Royal Saint-Ouen waterfront stations links with Canada Place and the Sinclair Centre. Winnipeg has a smaller area located underground in the downtown core below Portage and Main. Several of the downtown office towers have subterranean entrances to the complex, allowing employees and visitors to bypass the downtown traffic and avoid the cold winter temperatures Winnipeg regularly experiences. The system links with the Skyway system known as the Winnipeg Walkway. Also, the University of Manitoba has underground tunnels for the students to travel building to building. Chile. Santiago has some elements of an underground city in its metro subway system, while all stations have a small mezzanine level above the tracks for ticket purchase. Some key stations have extensive areas of shops and kiosks in addition. Some stations even have an additional mall-like level between the street and the mezzanine levels. China. Beijing built an extensive tunnel network called the Underground City during the Sino-Soviet conflict, supposedly covering 85 square kilometers, falling into disuse in the 1970s. It has been recently opened to the public and tourists. There are rumors it was used by the army during the Tiananmen incident. As of the 1st of July 2009, all official remaining entrances appear to be closed. Guangzhou has a large underground network connecting the office towers, malls and metro stations located in Zhejiang New Town. In addition, there are large underground malls surrounding several Guangzhou metro stations such as Tuxilu, Jiangyun West, Gongyuanqian, Motors Park and Guangzhou East Railway Station. Harbin has a number of large, multi-level underground shopping areas, originally built for air defense. The largest is at the roundabout intersection of Zhidazhi Street and Hongjin Street, where 3 levels of markets following streets from 4 directions meet under the giant snowflake atrium. Hong Kong. Many MTR stations in Hong Kong form extended underground networks connecting to buildings under the basement of some major shopping malls in the area above. The stations themselves house a number of retail shops. Notable examples of the central Hong Kong stations and the Tsim Sha Tsui East Tsim Sha Tsui stations. Only rarely are there not any shops. Additional underground networks have been proposed for Causeway Bay in 2006 and in Kwun Tong under Hoi Wen Road in 2010. As of 2014, studies are underway for underground networks in Tsim Sha Tsui, Kowloon Park, Victoria Park, Causeway Bay, Happy Valley, Admiralty, Wan Chai and Hong Kong Park. Qingdao has 2 small underground shopping areas, one at the head of the Zhaqiao and one west of the Qingdao Guest House. Shanghai has a few underground networks, most notably at People's Square Metro Station, wherein the Line 2 station has a second mezzanine full of shops and Line 1 is connected to a large underground shopping gallery at its south end. Shanghai Science Museum stop on Line 2 has a large underground shopping area, known for its imitation goods. Huangpi Road South and Zujiawei stations are directly connected to shopping centers, and the Lujiazui station is connected to the Bank of China Tower. Shenzhen has quite a few underground shopping malls. Link City, between Shenzhen Metro Station's Convention and AMP Exhibition Center Station and Shopping Park Station, used to be an air raid shelter. A network of subterranean retail tunnels surrounding several Shenzhen Metro stations such as Chegong Miao, Laoji, Science Museum, Luihu, Huaqiang North, Huaqiang Road and Civic Center. Finland. Helsinki Underground covers the central railway station area, 2 subway stations and shopping malls. The Kamppi metro station is integrated with the Kamppi Center, long-distance bus terminal, freight depot and internal parking area, all underground. It features a 6-story shopping complex and a central bus terminal for local buses. The underground network has connections to the nearby Forum Shopping Center and Sokos and Stockman department stores. 3 other subway stations in Helsinki have similar, smaller undergrounds: Hakaniemi, Kaisaniemi, and Sornainen. France. Paris. The mines of Paris are several disconnected networks of more than 300 kilometers of mining tunnels started in the 13th century and dominated by the large South Network on the left bank. of which 1.7 kilometers was repurposed from 1786 as the catacombs of Paris Ossuary, the final resting place of 6 to 7 million Parisians. Other parts of the tunnel network have long been closed off for safety reasons, but the tunnels have served as safe passageways during war and revolution, routes for urban explorers, and venues for unauthorized cultural activities. La Défense, the major business district northwest of the city center built in the 1960s, has an extensive network of commercial passageways under a vast plaza centered on the Gare de la Défense and radiating out to connect with surrounding buildings, notably the large Les Quatre Temps shopping centre and CNIT, but enabling access to many buildings of the district. The Forum des Halles is a partially underground multi-level commercial and shopping centre connected to the massive underground transit hub, Châtelet-les Halles. Opened in 1979, passageways extend west under the Jardin Nelson Mandela for several city blocks, and within the fare zone of the Paris Metro, stretch half a kilometer south to the banks of the River Seine. Nauers, 33 meters below the Picardy village of Nauers. The 28 galleries long of an ancient limestone quarry have long been used as shelter by the population seeking refuge from invaders, occupied by the Triple Entente forces during World War I, and then used as headquarters by the German army during the World War II occupation of France. The galleries are now open to visitors. Arras. During World War I, the French and British Army built an underground tunnel system based upon the already existing adits from a formerly used quarry. Scots and Englishmen used the quarry below the Quarter St Sauveur and called it Glasgow, Manchester, and Liverpool. The New Zealand Army used the quarry for constructing another tunnel system below the Quarter Ronville and called it Wellington, Auckland, and Nelson. Soldiers from these armed forces hided in the tunnels for several days. On April 9, 1917, 5:30 a.m., 24,000 soldiers ran out from the to encounter German troops. Germany, Berlin. Several buildings on the east side of Friedrichstrasse, from Cartier 205 northwards up to Galerie Lafayette, are connected to each other. Businesses are on both sides of the underground streets of that. It appears to be inside a building all the time, even when it crosses Taubenstrasse underground. Frankfurt am Main. Underground shopping malls, called Bieben, in Frankfurt, of considerable size are found at Hauptbahnhof and Hauptweg. Hamburg, the Jungfernstieg and Rathaus subway stations and several entrances are connected by pedestrian tunnels. Some of them contain shops. There is a direct access to the Europa Passage shopping mall. Stuttgart. There is a large underground shopping mall connecting the Hauptbahnhof with the main shopping street, the Königstrasse. Greece. In Thessaloniki, Hellenistic, Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman monuments coexist that bear witness to the city history and its significance. Several of the underground secrets of Thessaloniki have been discovered and emerged, while restoration work is under process. Although the final result is impressive, with underground monuments such as the Catacombs of St. John and the Underground Museum of the Agora, they do not comprise highlights for the city, and access is still very limited and not permitted even to the locals by the archaeological department of the Thessaloniki Underground Metro Project. Iran. Kish, an underground city by the name of Hidden Pearl, was constructed of roads interlinked 20 meters under the ground. Shops and restaurants are planned to be built. Tehran. Tehran has made a series of underground pathways in and around Vali EASR metro station and is in planning stage to increase commercial activity in newly built buildings in the central part of the city. The priorities for future development development are expansion of underground connections around Haftiatia metro station and Maiden e Vali EASR metro station, Isfahan, with the completion of Imam Hossein metro station and Jahannama complex and their eventual underground connection. There would be an underground complex of a length of 300 meters formed in Isfahan downtown area, also not underground per se, with Imam Ali Square's street network being dug underground and a large open space plaza being constructed on the top. The plaza is connected through a series of covered bazaar pathways of a length exceeding 4 kilometers, connecting it to Nakshi Jahan Square. Italy. Ancient Rome had a network of catacombs, ancient Jewish and Christian underground burial places near the city. Naples has many chambers and tunnels beneath the city, including channels and reservoirs for water, and catacombs. Japan. The top 5 largest underground cities in Japan are all shopping districts: Kusanagahara in Chuoku, Osaka, 81,765 square meters; Yasuchikagai in Chuo, Tokyo, 73,253 square meters; Kawasaki Azalea in Kawasaki-ku, Kawasaki, 56,704 square meters; Central Park Chikagai in Nakaku, Nagoya, 56,370 square meters; Diamond Osaka in Kitaku, Osaka, 42,977 square meters. Osaka has enormous underground networks in the Umeda, Namba, and Shinzaibashi districts, in which Umeda alone includes over 1,200 retail stores and restaurants, as well as subway and intercity rail stations. See also Ala City. Tokyo's subway lines are owned by Tokyo Metro and TOEIAN, mostly within the 23 special wards. Near the center of the city, connecting passages between stations that span a few blocks exist for commuters. Stations such as Shinjuku and Shibuya have underground shopping malls. Tokyo's network of tunnels is seen as one of the many megalopolis features of the city. Jordan. Jordan boasts the city of Petra, Rose Red City, half as old as time, carved from the living rock. Mexico. Guanajuato City was built over old silver mines, some of which are used as roads. The Mexico DF metro system has many underground pedestrian walkways connecting stations. Netherlands. In general, many large railway stations house underground hallways featuring shops, restaurants, banks and money exchange offices. A striking example of such stations would be the main hallway of the Amsterdam Central Station, which connects to the city's metro system. Although due to renovation and rebuilding it is temporarily no longer possible to walk from the subway to the train station without going outside. Maastricht, originally a casemate, the Kazamatin of Maastricht form a 14 kilometers long network of tunnels underneath the western part of the city. This tunnel network has mainly been used for military purposes. The main construction period of these tunnels lasted from 1575 to 1825. The newest sections of the tunnel network were dug as late as the middle 20th century, built in the Cold War as a shelter for citizens in the event of a nuclear strike on the city. Another, far more extensive, system of tunnels with a length over 200 kilometers and 20,000 individual corridors lies just west of Maastricht. This is referred to as the Caves of Maastricht. These man-made caves were used as mine quarries from the 13th century onwards. In World War II, these caves were used to hide large quantities of paintings from the Germans, even including the Nachtwacht. In 1944, construction started on a large public shelter that could have housed 45,000 persons in these caves. The project never saw its completion due to the liberation of Maastricht in the fall of the same year. Poland. Warsaw. Warsaw Central railway station is connected by underground pedestrian tunnels to adjacent rail stations Warsaw Rodmieście and Warsaw WKD, ZLA Tarasy Shopping Center, and the Centrum Lim skyscraper. Russia. Moscow Okhotny Ryad, four-level underground shopping mall linked to metro station of same name. Moscow Metro 2 is a purported secret underground metro system in Moscow built supposedly during the time of Joseph Stalin. Singapore. Extensive underground networks exist around most major stations of the mass rapid transit, such as the one at the Raffles Place MRT station with direct underground connections to 19 buildings in the busy Raffles Place area. Expanding the network is the first phase of a new subterranean network linking the station to the One Raffles Quay and Marina Bay Financial Center, for a complex underground pedestrian network across the entire downtown area. The CityLink Mall offers over 60,000 square feet of underground retail space and connects the City Hall MRT station with Suntec City, the Esplanade, theaters on the bay, and other developments in the Marina Center area. It is also linked to the Esplanade MRT station on the Circle MRT line. The Orchard Road shopping belt is connected by underground linkways, often with commercial space, particularly around the three MRT stations serving the district, namely Orchard, Somerset and Dobie Gort. Plans are also in place to link towards Brasbasa Road into Suntec City, Burgers Junction and Chinatown. South Korea. Seoul has a well-developed underground network. Myeongdong and Hwaein underground streets are the most famous. They are connected to Hwaein Station and Myeongdong Station. It is planned to build a larger underground city in Gangnam-Dareiro, the border between Gangnam District and Siargao District. Spain. In Barcelona, there's an abandoned underground mall near Plaça de Catalunya called Avinguda de l'Islam, closed since 1990, which had originally been part of a more ambitious project to build an underground city under the center of Barcelona. Also, some metro stations or connecting lines in the same station are connected by underground passages over a block in length. Legend has it the many caves and tunnels under the old part of Toledo were connected and were used by cultists. Sweden. By walking through Stockholm subway stations and indoor shopping malls, it is possible to walk indoor through the central business district, partly underground, from Arsenalsgate and subway entrance to Kungsbron, covering a distance of between 1 and 2 kilometers. Switzerland. Geneva contains a large underground shopping center which also acts to connect separate sections of surface shops. St. Gallen's main hospital uses several underground tunnels to connect its buildings, helicopter pad, pharmacies and storage facilities. Zurich Hauptbahnhof in Zurich has an underground rail city shopping mall with full access to the station platforms. Taiwan. Taipei has underground streets connecting to more metro stations. In addition, there is a large underground shopping mall near the main train station. Turkey. Cappadocia contains several historical underground cities carved out of unusual geological formations formed via the eruptions of ancient volcanoes. The cities were initially inhabited by the Hittites, then later by early Christians as hiding places. They are now archaeological and tourist sites but are not generally occupied. The latest large underground city was discovered in 2007 in Gazimir Guzilut. It was a stopover on the Silk Road, allowing travelers and their camels to rest in safety underground in a fortress equivalent to a modern hotel. Istanbul boasts the Roman cisterns, built 2,000 years ago for water storage but now a tourist attraction. Ukraine, Kiev. An underground concourse extends underneath Kreskitik Street from Maiden-Nezalezhnosti to Plosha Lva Tolstoho. The concourse connects to the Kiev Metro and to the Globe shopping mall beneath Maiden-Nezalezhnosti.